what do I need to show you? What's the problem and why? Let's just go over here. I don't want to show you guys a lot of it, but good morning, kitty. Oh, kitty. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm. This is a first-generation farm in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and today I'm here to tell you about something that's not cool. That's right over here in my fence. And this is something that doesn't get talked about a whole heck of a lot, about woven wire fencing on your farm, on your property. Some people call them panels, some people call it gosh, what are the net wire? There's all sorts of words for it, but today we're going to show you something bad that's happened here. And we've got a deer that's stuck in the fence, and I really hate this, but this does happen. Maybe in the last 4 years it's happened twice now, and this is right out here in front of my house. So let's go over it, we'll take a look, and we'll talk about woven wire fencing and the dirty secret that not a lot of people talk about. And we'll talk to you about nature and how this happens. You don't need an invitation. Hey, birdies! Hey, birds! What are you guys doing? We're finally getting some rain. We've been dying for rain, literally. It has been the driest year, and I talked to a lot of old farmers around here. It's been the driest year in 40 years around these parts. It's been not good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get hay for my animals this year. It's super upsetting. What we're here to talk about is something that's not good and not cool. That in the background is a deer. There is a deer hung in my fence right here, and this deer evidently tried to jump over the fence in the middle of the night last night. It tried to jump the fence, got its foot hung, and broke its neck as it fell over in the yard here. I'm not going to show you a lot of gruesome details, but I am going to teach you a little bit about this woven wire fencing and why a lot of people don't use it. There's many types of fencing that you could put up at your farm, at your property, to keep your animals in. Down here at the bottom of the hill, you'll see some wooden fencing. That's called Kentucky 4-board, and you can see us staining the fence right now with a product called Wood Defender. I came out here, set these posts, and built this fence myself. I had some fencing contractors come out and help me out with the woven wire fence, and this is the woven wire fence right here, and this is called fixed knot. Right there is the fixed knot, 134812. Now, what are all these numbers? What do they mean? And why is a deer getting hung up in this kind of fencing? Well, 134812. Let's talk fence technology. This is a line wire. It goes with the horizontal, and the vertical wire is called a stay wire. When we say fixed knot, we're talking about this knot right here. It's a fixed knot, meaning this does not slide and it does not give, okay? This should be one solid piece of wire from top to bottom on each one of these rungs. The 134812 means 48 inches high, but it's 13 line wires. So 48 inches high. So the 13 is 13 line wires, 48 and 12. 12 is what's called the stay spacing. So the spacing between this stay wire and that stay wire. So this is called Titan 134812, and the Titan knot is a knot that's pretty much patented, I guess, by the Tornado Wire Company. You can tell me I'm wrong if you want to on that. I'm not positive. The reason we chose this wire is because down here at the bottom, we've got 12-inch stay spacing that's wider and wider and wider. So if a goat were to get its head in here, and this is about 5 inches between the line wires right here, but it gets smaller and smaller. So if this is 5, and this is 4, this is 4, and this is 3, this is 3, 3, all the way down. Well, the reason we went with this is so a goat or a sheep could get its head in here because they always want to eat on the other side of the fence. They always want to stick their head through a fence wire. So they could get their head in there, and if it were a smaller, they would get their head in and get hung. They would get their horns hung up in the fence, and consequently, a lot of times lose their lives getting their head caught up in the fence like that. Goats and sheep and stuff like that want to get their head caught in that, and baby calves. This is another type of fencing called poultry netting. This is an electrified fence. All of the wires, the line wires, are all electrified, and the stay wires are not electrified. Now, a goat or a sheep will get its head in there. They'll stick their little head, and a chicken will too. They'll stick their little head in here. Oh, this chicken wants to play. And turn and get their head caught in there, and they'll tear the whole stinking fence down, wrap it all around their neck, and it'll kill them. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you have the wrong fencing, or you don't keep electricity on this type of fence when you have small livestock like goats. When I first started with the farm way back in the day, goats were the first thing that we got. Goats are pretty much the first thing every homesteader gets when they start homesteading. I lost one goat to its head stuck in the fence, and the reason behind that was it stuck its head in and it didn't shock him. It didn't shock him enough. When you have an electric fence system like this, your ground is of the utmost importance. So if your electric fence system is not well grounded, it won't zap them until it's too late. And it got its head caught in there, and then it zapped him, and that was the end of that goat. What do I need to show you? What's the problem and why? Let's just go over here. I don't want to show you guys a lot of it, but this is what went on. So that deer's hung in that fence right there. Why did that happen? I'm gonna give you a little close-up of what's going on. So this deer got its foot stuck. That's the deer's foot. It's stuck in this fence. This deer has passed away. This is just part of owning land, owning fences, and owning a farm. I'm gonna have to haul that deer off. I've got holes already dug in case I lose an animal, a cow or whatever, so we'll drag this deer off over the hill. It's very unfortunate. And what's happening here is, we'll show you the design of the fence again really quickly. And this normally doesn't happen right here in front of the house, but the deer are so stinking overpopulated here that, you know, on any given night, there'll be 15 or 20 deer out in front of my house. They're actually competing with the livestock, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And we're overran with ticks because of this overpopulation of deer. Here's what went on. That deer was in here and it was grazing, and it decided to hop over the fence up the hill. It's a little more of a challenge to hop up the hill than it is to hop down the hill. If it were running, bro, if it were running, it would have just sailed right over the fence. But a deer won't like run straight to the fence and go over like that. It won't do that. It will walk up and jump over like that. It tries to go over sideways. So what happens is they'll jump up like uphill, and this is a 4-foot tall fence. With this makes it about 4.5 feet high. They'll jump up and try to kick off with their hoof either this top wire right here, and this is the electric fence wire on the top, or this wire right here. And when they try to kick off of it, sometimes their foot will get up in there just like that as they try to kick off, and they'll get hung, and that's it. That's the deer hoof. You know, it's not like they can shake it out on the other side. And I'm sure this deer, when it jumped over the fence, from what I can tell, this happened just like that. I heard no struggle in the middle of the night. What I did was woke up and I saw a bunch of buzzards out here in the yard. So what's the fix for this? I don't think there really is a good fix for this other than having a nice tight wire here and a nice tight wire here. This is temporary, okay? This is called polyelectric. There are little electric fibers in here, but this is temporary. Once we get the permanent fencing in right here, it may help, but you can still see it's called animal entrapment. There is an entrapment hazard. I've seen a deer jump over a 6-foot tall fence, like a fence at the airport. They can jump a fence. If they can go under a fence, they'll go under it here on the farm. But unfortunately, once in a while, we have that scenario which presented itself this morning. It's kind of the unkept secret of woven wire fencing, and it's a reality that everyone needs to know about. If you've got woven wire fencing on your farm, you will have this happen to you at some point in the life of your farm. You just simply will. If it were barbed wire, that presents another problem. Animals jump up and they get hung in that too. If it was a smooth wire, like a high tensile smooth wire, odds are this would never ever happen. But we do not have high tensile smooth wire out here. We want to be able to keep our animals in. And when we built our fences, and this is all food for thought for your fence project, if you decide you want to buy a farm or some property, when we built our fences, we built them to where they could handle multiple species of animals. In other words, sheep, goats, horses, cattle, and even chickens. So thank you guys, I appreciate it. This is kind of a bummer to have to deal with something like this, but it is the reality of farm life. It's the reality of rural life like this here on the Stoney Ridge and any other farm that might have woven wire fencing. Thank y'all. Hope you learned something. Let me know. Post some comments down there in the comment section, and please subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell icon. It'll notify you when I post a new video here on the Stoney Ridge. Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids and live it live. Pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Well, the reason we went with this nose itch, that's right here, that's gonna get us through, and a rooster. If it were running, bro, deer jump over. It's just horrible. I hate that. Such a waste. And if, I'll be honest with you, when I'm a country boy, I would not be wasting that animal. If I knew it was alive, like, I don't want to eat something that could be gross or bad, and I'm afraid that meat would have gone bad. Y'all come back now. You hear?